Alright, so this little project, surface coat on the plug. I've got 302X product you see in front of you there. None of this stuff that I talk about, they pay me to talk about. I'm not advertising anybody's product to make money. I'm just sort of going over it and telling you what worked for me. And obviously with all this stuff out there, there'll be dozens of products that'll do the same thing, but that happens to be what I've got, and that's what I've used in the past, so that's what I'm going to cover. So the ratio between these two is 16% per hundredweight. So to save you the boring measuring and pouring, I've got that in the cup. And with a product or a surface coat that's thick like this, it becomes even more important to scrape the sides when you mix it. And as you can probably see, you know, I smeared it over the edge of the cup when I put it in here. And it's very difficult to actually get 100% of it mixed. So with a product this thick, what I'm going to do is mix it as good as I can in this cup, and then I'm going to transfer it into another cup that's clean and mix it some more. So by doing that, I get rid of the chance that there's resin, or in this case surface coat, that was stuck down in the corner that wasn't mixed properly. And it might be one of these things where you could get away without doing that, but I just don't want a soft spot in this surface coat. I want to make sure. So I know it's boring to sit here and watch me stir this resin, but I wanted to do this part in real time so you get an idea of exactly how long you should actually be stirring this stuff. And I'm looking at the bottom of the cup, and I'm seeing where I'm scraping it all off because I can see daylight through this cup. I can also see daylight through the sides. Alright, so I'm going to transfer what I've got into another cup. Around the edges a little bit, makes a good stirring stick. Okay, continue stirring. And make sure this is scraped also, and this will guarantee that you've got a well mixed surface coat. I keep it in the little oven there to keep the dust off of it. Alright, here's my part. It's PVA'd. I don't know if you can tell the gloss or not, but that's about right. I mean, it's about as good as it's going to get. And you can always buff the part and mold later once everything's done. So I take an acid brush, and that's how I spread it. Now if you had a bigger mold, a whole fuse or a big wing or something you're laying up, obviously you don't use an acid brush. Never had to use these before. Alright, I'll take a little bit in the brush. First thing I do is all the 90-degree corners. So there's a close-up. Give you an idea what it looks like. You never really know exactly what you're going to get until you pop this thing open. So at this stage I've got the part with DTO81, and what I'm doing here is building up a sandwich core. I've mixed HTR 250 106-3. 106.3 is a curing agent. So I mixed that up and I added DTO81, which is this sand mixture. And you mix it in the cup to where it becomes a putty. And you just knead it onto the your plug that's got the surface coat on it. And you try to build up on a part this size, maybe 1/4 inch thickness, maybe a little more. And what you're going to do after you get this laid up, then you're going to start on the glass. You're going to go back and cover this tooling putty with fiberglass and more resin. So by taking the mold and making it thicker, you make it more rigid. And I'm trying to get a nice fillet here so that way when I do put the fiberglass on it, you've got a really nice transition. So it just sort of flares out. You don't have any sharp corners. So that way it gives you a really nice mold. Now, if the part was bigger than this, like a fuselage, you're probably going to have to go with some egg crate structure, to support it. But these little parts like this, they work out really good with these little clamshell molds. And you could put the glass cloth right on the tooling tote, and it usually works out okay, but it takes more layers of glass to build it up to get a rigid tool. So once this goes to like a B stage, which is almost there, it's starting to get fairly stiff. And you can start laying the glass up now once it becomes firm, where it won't distort.